Hi, so our group is Housing First. My name is Kevin.
I'm Madison. I'm Bridget.
I'm Pramod.
And I'm Caesar.
So, to start off, homelessness has gained traction as an emerging topic over the last few years. The rise of the homeless population has grown because of the gap between income and the cost of housing in California. The combination contributes to the lack of affordable housing. Housing in California is sold at a premium, while many individuals do not make a premium income. Due to the huge imbalance that continues to grow, the homeless population in California struggle to find a safe environment to call home. This leaves the homeless population stranded, trying to find anywhere to live. Many live in their cars, and they do not have a car. And if they don't have a car to live in, they make do with whatever they can find. This creates a constant cycle if there's no action taken. There should be more resources to help our homeless population. Here, we will present to you a possible solution to ease the homeless situation in California. In this next section, Madison will present the background information on this situation.
A great portion of California's homeless are chronically homeless, meaning that they are homeless for more than a year. Individuals have been forced to live in vehicles, abandoned buildings, and other public spaces. It has even been estimated that almost 70% of individuals in California are living unsheltered, and 1/3 of our nation's homeless are in California. The homeless population is even increasing at 5 times the rate compared to other states. Anyone is susceptible to homelessness: veterans, immigrants, families, women, and children. The high cost of living that has increased recently contributes a great deal to the homeless epidemic in our state. Another major contributor to the homeless epidemic is the gap between annual income and the housing costs. The lack of homeless shelters can increase the risk of exposure to communicable diseases. This poses an issue in areas that are densely populated with homeless people. It is apparent in our proposal that homelessness in California is an issue of top priority. And our group has proposed a program that would provide individuals with families with clean homes that will also temporarily eliminate the burden of rent while incorporating them back into society. And then in this next section, Bridget and Caesar will talk about our program proposal.
So our main focus is going to be on the two key areas, actually, which eventually lead people to be homeless. The first one is, well, of course, housing, right? Housing first. That is our focus. That is one of the main reasons why people are homeless, of course, is the ridiculously big cost of housing. So we aim to provide, with, of course, the help of local government agencies, low-income or perhaps subsidized housing, and as well as, if we have to, reach out to contractors independently to perhaps build new structures. Now, with that being said, our second area of focus here is going to be the transition, right? The transition from regular, irregular, I should say, life to now a regular life with stable housing, and now comes the part where we have to find jobs, right? A source of income. It's very important that we have a source of income for these individuals so they essentially can be self-sustaining, right? And this is the goal with this, right? Get people out of the streets. And we would do this through organizing job fairs and helping these individuals with common challenges that they may experience, such as resume building, interviewing skills, as well as business best practices, right, and the knowledge of those. And with that being said, I'm going to have Bridget come up, and one of the main things here is working together to kind of bring this into reality is going to be required, and as previous programs such as these have shown, when you work together and take away the stress of finding housing for these individuals, their chances of success dramatically increase.
Thank you, Caesar, for that introduction. So looking at the state of housing in California, the Bay Area in particular, the cost of living has grown significantly in the past few years. Due to the high demand for housing, many homes are now becoming unaffordable in major cities of the Bay Area. As a result of this ongoing issue, the number of individuals living in a chronic state of homelessness is now rising. Wherever you look, even in the most affluent neighborhoods, you see people out living on the streets and living in uninhabitable conditions. And most of the time, they are often ignored or seen as the problem, when in fact that there's more to this issue that we're not seeing. We strongly believe that everyone should have a right to live in a safe home, and our primary goal, as we've mentioned before, was to remove the homeless individuals off the streets and move them into more affordable and stable housing. We discovered that offering more beds at homeless shelters simply isn't enough. This is only a temporary solution to an even greater problem. Homeless shelters across the Bay Area can easily become crowded and have a limited number of beds available each night. And those who can't seek shelter at one location will often be turned away and will seek shelter out on the streets. Many of these individuals don't have access to transportation, and they simply can't just move from one location and go to another shelter and hope that there's space for them there. So this framework would require several parts of California's economy in order to function. Those involved would include state policymakers, volunteers, and other government agencies and local community organizations, clinics, and independent contractors who can help build homes and also offer the necessary services that are needed to help this population of interest. The resources that we would need to allocate in order to make our program successful would include building materials for the housing units, as well as willing volunteers to help build these homes and properly zoned locations that create space for this housing. If this program was to be implemented into a pre-existing community, we also ask that the community is all for it and that they are all willing to help this population. As for funding, the program can start with a budget of $1 million, and throughout and over time we can allocate funds through commercialized sale of merchandise and even through charitable donations. We also discussed possibly opening a Patreon page or even a GoFundMe account to make this possible. And now my colleague will come and close off and this presentation for us.
Thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Kevin, and Caesar, and Madison as well. Thank you for all the important information that you have presented about the crisis of homelessness here in California and how impacted we are through the homelessness, because California, as we heard, has 1/3 of the total homeless population in the entire nation, so which is really a dire situation. And of course, being a homeless is not a choice that one would like to make. And of course, that life happens. There are so many things going on, and family issues, other natural disasters, and so many other issues force people to be either homeless. And of course, that always says life can happen at any time. We don't know. So those who want to keep their hope alive are still out there and trying to struggle through days and night, and they are looking through the far shadow of the tunnel. They're looking for some hope. And they're out there in the open space during the sun of the day and the night, and also at rain and any kind of weather condition. And they are trying to spend their life, as we can imagine, trying to wake up next to that garbage can in the morning before the 4:30 a.m. traffic start honking and hissing on the road. And as we can imagine putting ourselves into that situation, we can see what the situation would be like. And of course, we can imagine we have a feeling. And at the same time, it forces us to remind that, are we really that poor and irresponsible to our own fellow human beings? We have the answer. That's not right. That's not true. It should not be like that way. We got to have a solution. So now let's come together. Let's find out what is required and what is missing in our system that we are being incapable of helping those poor people out there. Let's get them out of that place. And being a state of having so many homeless population, at the same time give us an opportunity to find our different model. So let's be a model of hope for the world. And various examples have already proved that providing a basic shelter can be a giant step forward towards changing someone's life throughout the whole lifetime. And let's get together and unite to help our friends and relatives and get out of that misery that life brought upon to them. And let's walk together to that hope of the future. Right now, what are we talking about is as little as $1 million that can act as a seed of that giant tree out there, which can provide a shelter to 154,000 homeless population. Right here in our area, in Bay Area. Just as I'm talking, that's just as an example and a model that we are trying to establish so people can learn from it. That we can start with so little. It helps so much of a bigger population. And now, it's not just a time to talk. It's a time to stand up and walk our talk. So, are you willing to help us complete this walk? I guess, knowing all these things going on, of course, I hope you do. I hope you'll help us to walk together. Let's walk together. Thank you.